or talking during someone else's presentation. That's very rude. Do that to that fire. All right, ready? Go.
Hi, good afternoon, friends. My biography book report is about Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa is one of the most popular faces worldwide and admired by many people for her charitable services. Let me tell her story in her own words. My name is Agnes Goncha Boyachu. I am known to the world in the name of Mother Teresa. I was born on June 24th, 1910, in the state of Skopje, which is in the country of Macedonia. Macedonia is a place north of Greece in Europe. My family contains my mother Drana, my father Nicola, an older sister Aga, and an older brother named Lazar. My father Nicola helped fight for the Albanian independence against Turkey. My family follows the Roman Catholic religion. When I was young, I could sing very well, although I was a delicate child who often had cough and not very strong lungs. In 1925, when I was 15 years old, there's a new Jesuit priest, Father Franjo Jandrikovic, at the church. He made a group for girls called the Sorority of the Blessed Virgin Mary, which I joined first. When I was 18 years old, I gave up all the luxurious things in my life and left home because I was inclined more towards the religious life. I joined the Sisters of Loreto, which is an Irish order that worked with the Jesuit brothers in Bengal, India. In India, I learned the languages Bengali and Hindi to communicate with people. In 1929, I again changed my name to honor the French nun, Saint Teresa of Lisieux, and adopted the Spanish spelling Teresa and called myself as Sister Teresa. My daily routine was to wake up at 5 a.m., pray, study, and go to Mass in the chapel. I also worked with Bengali nuns who wore simple traditional saris that had the colors white and blue. But at St. Mary's, I wore a black and white habit. A habit is a type of garment that Catholic nuns wear. I taught classes and found a gift for teaching. Before class started, I always washed and swept the floor because servants always did the job. I tried to be kind to everyone and expected everyone to be kind in return. When I was 12 years old, a miracle happened. I was sick, so I was traveling on a train to rest in a peaceful place, and suddenly I heard God's voice. I know He was telling me to help the poor, so I chose to live among the poorest of the poor. In 1937, I again changed my name to Mother Teresa when I was 26 years old. At the time of World War II, I took care of 24 babies at once. I soon learned how to work in a hospital and do service like deliver babies, get them used to the environment, and help people who are close to their death. My daily food was rice and salt. I planned schedules and set rules for my future followers because they need to have protein, fruits, and vegetables with a simple meal of rice and salt. The saddest time of my life was when I saw many homeless and poor people on the street in Calcutta. I built a charity called the Missionaries of Charity, where people serve the poor without the help of a hospital or another charity. In 1952, I had 26 followers. I built many more charities like Nirmal Hriday, Shishu Bhavan, etc. Nirmal Hriday was a charity for abandoned babies and children. Shishu Bhavan was a charity for orphans. Soon, in 1958, Shishu Bhavan made more programs where older kids learn typing, carpentry, or needlepoint. will work so they can get a job. In 1956, New York City's Catholic Relief Services donated $5,000 to replace the Missionaries of Charity's old van into a traveling medical dispensary. A dispensary is a charity-run medical clinic where medicines are given away or dispensed, free of charge. I opened a new clinic for people who have the disease leprosy, which are called lepers. The clinic's name was Touch a Leper with Their Compassion. I received major Indian awards, including India's highest civilian award, the Bharat Ratna, Padma Shri, and the Jawaharlal Nehru Award. I also received many awards for international understanding from other countries. The happiest time of my life was when I could build more charities outside India. The first charity outside India was in Koper Road, Venezuela. In 1979, I won the Nobel Peace Prize for work undertaken in the struggle to overcome poverty and distress. I was recognized with the Presidential Medal of Freedom Award from U.S. President in 1985. In the 1980s and early 1990s, I became a friend with Princess Diana and felt like she was a daughter to me. I, Prakruthi, think Mother Teresa is a great person because she did many good things in her life which helped lots of people across the world in need. She had a major heart attack in 1983 but recovered. In 1989, she had another heart attack that was close to fatal, but again she recovered. On September 5th, 1997, on Princess Diana's funeral, Mother Teresa died. At the time of her death, Mother Teresa's Missionaries of Charity had over 4,000 sisters, an associated brotherhood of 300 members, operating 610 missions in 123 countries. Thank you.
Wow. I'm like speechless, and I almost like can have tears in my eyes. What amazing job, Prakruthi. You spent so much time, and I loved how you walked around, and I felt like you were Mother Teresa, and you had such a kindness in your voice, your whole presentation.
You could tell that she was
Prakruthi, Mother Teresa, boys and girls, those of you that did not know what type of person she was, you could only just feel it coming from Prakruthi, the way that she presented her, about how lovely and giving and kind, and she could have lived anywhere she wanted. And for her, she chose to live in the poorest places, where she had what, salt and, what did you say? Salt and rice. That was her meal.
salt and water.
She accomplished so much. And you know, for some of those other quotes that you boys and girls were talking about, this is a person who, it's not what she could take from the country that she lived in, but what she could do for them. And don't you think that Mother Teresa definitely followed that quote to the fullest? Prakruthi, I know that you mentioned that you said that you wanted to see if something was on it that would play, but you just decided that you'd rather just give the presentation. How long did it take you to practice and memorize all that? Just every day you would practice it? Did you practice walking? When you go to public speaking and people who speak in front of others, oftentimes they'll walk around because they want to engage. If an audience is really big, they want to make sure that everyone is engaged in what they're saying. So I'm amazed. I mean, I took a speech class in college and no one even came close to anything like that. Let's do another sparkle clap for Prakruthi. That was talked about I liked how even within your report, you would then show us a picture of the different orphanages that she founded, if you will. And then you talk about everything that's on that poster?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I like how you drew the picture of the map. That's always hard. When you guys draw your first maps, you look at a picture and you go, oh, that'll be easy. But then just to draw it to scale, it's not something that's really easy to do. And you did such a good job with your costume. It's amazing. All right, I'm going to let her talk about her puppets, and then we can go ahead and tell her what we learned from her report. Okay? All right, so continue being a good audience.
So this is Mother Teresa. I only did her face.
You made a puppet that can like that.
And this is Father Franco Gianrico, and he was the first, and he was a priest who led me to my religious life.
So he was someone who was very, like a big part of her life.
This is Princess Diana.
That's Princess Diana. If you, Princess